Twin Day. That means let's go. So welcome everyone. My name is Kyle, and I'll be your safari guide as we head out to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve today. Now, just by a show of hands, is anybody's first time out here in Harambe? Awesome, welcome guys. Everyone else, welcome back. Now, the Harambe Wildlife Reserve was established back in 1971 to connect some of the natural wildlife that you're seeing out here today. Here's a good example of what we should be seeing. If you look directly above your head, you can see the safari spotted guide. And that's just going to help you identify some of those animals out there the day. I'll try to point them all out and identify them for you, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Does anybody see their favorite animals up there? Just go ahead and shout them out. Zebra, elephant, lion.
Well, we're going to do the best we can.
Giraffe, flamingo, owl, crocodile. Awesome, good choice. All right, wildebeest, elephant, again, okay. What was that?
All right, that's a little better. Let's roll.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, rhino, awesome, my personal favorite. That's a good choice. Now, we won't be heading through all their natural habitats, so we will have a great chance of seeing all of them. But if you are planning on taking pictures, have those cameras ready at all times. There are very few times we can't stop, but I will try to stop as much as possible. But the animals are all free roam, so they may not always be there. They may pop out of the bushes or go away at any moment. So I would highly recommend having those cameras on a speed or sport setting just to help you capture some of those photos. It is very bumpy out there because we will be driving off-road, so just remember to remain seated at all times. However, it looks like we have the all clear, so here we go. Now, first off, we are heading into the Little Attorney Forest. Now, the Little Attorney Forest is rich with vegetation, so this can guys go. It may be harder to spot from the animals due to their natural patterns. First off, if you look out to your right there, you can spot the okapi. Now, most people believe the okapi to be related to the zebra due to their natural patterns. They actually have no relation to the zebra. They are related to the giraffe. Then on top of this hill to our left here, you can see the bongo. Now, the bongo are commonly known as the ghosts of the forest because their natural colors and patterns help them blend in with their surroundings, so most people don't even spot them. Then, back to our left again, you can see the greater kudu, which is the second largest of the antelope here in Africa. They stand about 5 feet tall at the shoulders, weighing around 750 pounds. Now, we are coming up to a small watering hole to our left here. These watering holes are great places to spot some of the more rare animals out here in the reserve, such as the black rhino. Now, unfortunately, poachers illegally hunt the black rhino for their horns, which has driven down their population, but there's now less than 5,000 in the entire world. You can see one about halfway up to our left there. Looks like we're coming up on another one, a little closer here. Now, if you see these large white birds on this side of the water here to our left, those are the yellow-billed storks. And the yellow-billed stork is a carnivorous bird, so they eat smaller birds, frogs, lizards, and snakes. Now, out to our left, you can see those large black and white birds. Those are the saddle-billed storks. Now, the saddle-billed stork is the largest of the storks here in Africa. They stand about 5 to 6 feet tall, with a wingspan of 8 to 9 feet. And we have just left the Little Attorney Forest, and we'll be heading into the Safi River. Now, the Safi River is a great place to spot some more aquatic animals out here in the reserve, such as the hippo and the Nile crocodile. Now, hippos spend most of the day in the water, and they are great swimmers. They do prefer to walk along the bottom of the river, but it makes them a little harder to spot. So those look like shadows underneath the surface of the water, as well as rocks sticking out of the water. Looks like there are some on the other side of that small island, so we're going to pull around in just a few moments to get a closer view of them. But I can see these large gray birds on that island. Those are the pink-backed pelicans. Now, the pink-backed pelicans gain their name from the pink spot on their back, which actually gets brighter during mating season. And they are colonial nesters, so they nest in large groups. Now, hippos are very large. One alone can weigh to a total of 5,500 pounds. And this does mean they do eat a lot. In one night alone, one can eat up to a total of 150 pounds of vegetation. It looks like we are coming up on a bridge up ahead. Now, most of the here on the reserve are a lot older now, don't trust them too much. We're just going to head over cautiously. Kind of remain seated. If that wasn't a good enough reason, if you look over to our left, you can see the Nile crocodile. Now, the Nile crocodile can grow up to lengths of 18 to 20 feet long. And when they stand those massive jaws shut, they do so at a bone-crushing force of 2,000 pounds per square inch. So we're going to get on out of here. Yeah. Now we have just left the Side River, and we are heading into a very different ecosystem, commonly known as the Savannah. Speaking of different, if you look out to our right-hand side here, you can see the baobab tree. And the baobab tree is commonly known as the upside-down tree. It looks like the roots are growing up into the air. Now, it gives out this appearance because it remains leafless about 8 to 9 months of the year. It can also store thousands of gallons of water inside its massive trunk year-round. Right now, we are connected to my favorite giraffes area. This overlooks the Serengeti grasslands, which stretch for hundreds of miles, acting as a natural superhighway to most migrational animals such as the wildebeest. They're also home to some of the more famous animals such as the giraffe, elephant, and lion. This is wild Africa we're striving so hard to preserve. If you look out to our right there, you can spot a few of the patterns of England. Now, the eland is the largest of the antelope here in Africa. Fully grown, they stand about 6 feet tall on the shoulders, and weigh in around 2,000 pounds. If you look out to our left there, you'll be able to spot the springbok. Now, the springbok are very small, standing only about 3 feet tall. Those are all fully grown adults. However, when fighting, they can spring up into the air a total of 10 to 11 feet. Now, if you notice these dirt-looking mounds coming up around us, those are actually termite mounds. Now, termite mounds can be very tall and as hard as concrete. However, elephants will use them as scratching posts, which wears them down over time, so that smaller animals like gazelle can use them as lookout posts to look out over the tall grass and spot predators. Now, we're coming up on a closer view of the eland off to our right here. You can spot a few of the Maasai giraffe on top of this hill to our left. And there are actually 2 different species of giraffe out here on the reserve. There's the Maasai, which have that much more jagged pattern, as well as the reticulated, which we should be able to spot a little farther up, which have a much more net-like pattern. Now, other than the patterns, both species are very similar, commonly living together. They both grow about 18 to 20 feet tall, making them the world's tallest animal. But if you notice some of these knockdown trees around us, that's done by the elephants. Everyone has their own individual roles out here. The elephants will knock down those trees, which provides nutrients to the grass below. The giraffe will use their long neck to trim up those lower branches of these hollow trees, which allows light to shine through. Larger animals like wildebeest trim down that grass, give it nice and short. And then smaller animals like gazelle trim up the edges. So in a perfectly balanced ecosystem like this, everyone has food.
This is the best.
Coming up ahead to our right, you'll be able to spot the sable antelope. Now the sable are the emblem of the reserve here in Harambe. They're actually noted somewhat darker than the others. That is a sign of dominance among the sable. And then in this brush to our left here, you can see the white-bearded wildebeest. Now, the wildebeest gained their names from the Dutch settlers who settled here many years ago. Found the wild beast due to the menacing look in the front. They also have one of the largest migrations here in Africa. If you look out from these trees to our right here, you'll be able to see the reticulated giraffe. You'll notice it has a much more net-like pattern to it compared to the Maasai giraffe, which we saw earlier. We'll be able to get another great view of the Maasai giraffe up to our left-hand side. Back here up to our right-hand side there, you'll be able to spot the Ankoli cattle. Now the Ankoli cattle's massive horns grow to a length of 6 feet long. Over there, completely hollow on the inside with a honeycomb pattern running through them. They can circulate their blood through these horns, which allows them to cool down their overall body temperature, acting like a natural radiator. Now they're also known as the Watusi cattle. The Watusi tribe is the first to domesticate them. They're the only domesticated animals we have out here on the reserve. Right now, we're going to be heading a little deeper into the reserve.
Yeah.
This area ahead is commonly known as Monkey Point. It's named for the troop of vandals who moved in here recently. And it also borders elephant country. Just keep your eyes peeled on either side of the road up ahead. We'll see what we can spot out here.
Animal like that.
You can spot a few of the mandrills that are just up on top of the rocks, as well as back behind those bushes. Now, the mandrills are the largest of the monkeys here in Africa. Full-grown males can weigh up to 100 pounds. Also the most colorful of the monkeys with those bright red and blue patterns on their nose. Spot one on top of that log there.
I saw one.
Right now, we're going to follow this road ahead, which is going to take us a little deeper into elephant country. We're going to see if we can catch up to one of the large elephant herds that's moved into the reserve lately. Remember, it looks like our road is closed heading into elephant country. So we're going to have to follow this other road, which is going to take us through an older part of the reserve. Now, this area up ahead hasn't been used in a few years. These roads might be a little bumpier than the ones we were just on. We'll just have to head through cautiously. Well, it looks like we are coming up on an older bridge. I do not like the look of this bridge. We're going to head over pulley, which means very slowly. Just remember to remain seated. I do not like the sound of this, so we're going to try to get out of here a little faster. Now, luckily for us, it looks like our truck has taken us into the red clay pits. Now, if you notice these tough marks on the sides here, elephants eat this red clay to provide just the basic minerals they don't get in their everyday diet. We should be coming up on an elephant herd not too far from here. Looks like there are a few on the other side of this bunch of heads, so we're going to pull around, try to get it closer to you. But it sounds like we're trying to pick up some local radio stations, so I'm going to try to tune in, see what we can pick up. Now coming up this small island, you're able to see the greater flamingo. Now the greater flamingo is the largest of the flamingo species. Over there, the less pink. Now they gain their natural color from their diet. They eat these tiny brine shrimp, which are very high in a vitamin called beta-carotene. So as you notice closer to birth, they're more of a grayish white. And as they eat more of those shrimp, they gain that natural pinkish color. Right now we are getting a little deeper into the savanna. This area at the head is white rhino territory. However, just like the black rhino, white rhinos are approaching with their horns. They're finding more and more sophisticated ways to get what they want. It's becoming more initiated. Even on large reserves like this, it's becoming harder to protect the white rhinos. And they do like to hang on the other side of these trees and heads, so we're going to pull around so we can spot them in a few minutes. If you actually look at that gap between the brush there, you're going to spot one of the white rhinos. Now, the white rhino is the largest of the rhino species. Fully grown, they weigh about 5,000 pounds. But they still can charge up to very fast speeds of 35 miles per hour. They actually gain their name from the Afrikaans word bites, meaning wide. So their wide rectangular jaw, compared to most other rhino species, who have a narrow triangular jaw. But if you look over on this hill to our left here, you'll be able to spot a few of the cheetahs laying in the shade underneath that tree. Now the cheetahs are the fastest of the land animals, able to run at speeds of 60 miles per hour. However, they are sprinters and not long distance runners, so if they run for too long, they tire themselves out very quickly and become overheated. Now, unlike most other predatory cats, cheetahs are daytime hunters because they heavily rely on their eyesight. But speaking of predatory cats, it looks like we are coming up on a Kobe rock formation. These Kobe rock formations are commonly inhabited by lions. Lions will base their hides out of these formations both to help protect their pride, as well as look out over the savanna and spot prey. We're going to pull around to the other side of these rocks. You can spot them over here. These lions do remain inactive about 18 to 20 hours of the day. They end up coming out at night to hunt. The females do most of the hunting, while the males stay back to protect their pride. Looks like we are coming up on a better view of some the white rhinos over to the right, as well as the botspot. And the botspot are very rare and only found on reserves like this because they have gone completely extinct out in the wild. Now if you look at this formation on the right, all the way down at the bottom, you'll be able to spot the female's head sticking out, laying out in the shade there. And then up on top of the rocks, about halfway in between those two rocks, you can spot the mane of the male lion sticking out. Looks like we are coming up with some burrows up ahead. It looks like these burrows belong to the warthogs. Now, the warthogs are the largest of the burrowing animals here in Africa. They do dig their own burrows, so they will steal the burrows of other animals. And then they'll seek at night with those large tusks facing out to help keep predators away. We are coming up with a few more white rhinos, as well as some ostrich eggs over to our left. Now, ostrich eggs aren't very large. One alone can weigh up to a total of 3 pounds. It looks like we are coming up on a few ostrich up ahead. the ostrich, which is the largest of the flightless birds. And they have those long, powerful legs which help them run up to high speeds of 40 miles per hour. Right now, we're going to try to take a shortcut through an old abandoned part of the reserve. That road over to our right will take us a few hours to get back to the forward and slope. So we're going to head through here, cut that down to just a few minutes. Now, it looks like we are coming up on a small herd of addax. Now, the addax are a desert antelope. They can actually go their full lifetime without drinking water. Now they do this because they actually absorb moisture through the vegetation they eat. They're suddenly chewing down that vegetation, which releases that moisture. That's how they get their source of water. Now from here it's just going to be a few minutes back to the warden's post. And from there, it'll just be a short walk back to the Harambe village. Now, if you're interested in finding a few ways you can help us out here on the reserve, head on out to our Hippos Planet Watch. It'll just be a short train ride out there from the train station back to the village. And it'll also have some fun activities including a petting zoo, as well as show you a few easy ways you can help that server around your own home. Now, if you're a little more interested in seeing some of these animals up close and personal, head on out to the Johnny Forest Trails. It'll just be a short 5 to 10 minute walk through the trails out there. You'll see some of the animals you saw here today, like the hippo, as well as some other very interesting animals, like the naked bull rat and the silverback gorilla.
The keepers will tell you how they feed them, how they sleep, a lot of their patterns, and things like that.
Alright, well we are coming to the end of our safari. And out here in Harambe, we don't like to say goodbye. We say Kwa Harini, which means go well. So I hope you guys had a great time out there. And Kwa Harini, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao, Warden.
Welcome back, folks. Wash your hands.